Hey everybody, welcome to The Harvest. Hey, just want to share real quick with you a video that we did last week here in the shop. Myself and Stephen Bader were here. We had Brent Leach from Ridgetop Custom Turkey Calls here. He was gracious enough to bring his press and stuff with him, all his supplies, and we had a little call making session. He was making us some mouth calls, and we were just working on some things as far as calling. But you know, Brent, he's a great caller. He's a very good call builder. I love his calls because they're durable. The tape on them that he uses, which, you know, I'm sure a lot of other companies do too, but the tape on his is a call that I can put in my mouth. And you know how we are, we're out there hunting. We keep it in our mouth. We you know, take it halfway out, hold it in our teeth. We just kind of wall it around, you know, and some calls I had tapes that would get real soggy and just wouldn't seal good in the roof of my mouth. So I really like the tape he uses on his. It's very durable. The reeds last a long time. Just great sounding calls, as you will see when you hear Brent yelp and cut and purr and even gobble on these calls. I wish I sounded half as good as he does. But if you want to sound like a turkey, you want to make a turkey yelp, I suggest that you listen to what Brent does and try to emulate that, which is very difficult because I've tried and tried, I still can't get it. But anyway, I'm probably as good as I'm gonna get. But anyway, hey, myself and Bo McGuffey, friend of mine, we're heading to Florida in the morning. We're pulling out of here. I'm pulling out here at 5 o'clock. Go pick him up. We're gonna drive all day, get down to Florida, hunt 3 days, come back. Hopefully we'll have some Osceolas on the tailgate. And here is my plan. If you're watching this, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Harvest Facebook page because I will be doing lives periodically down there while we're hunting. And my plan is, whether I get a bird kill on video or not, my plan is to do a YouTube video release every evening. My plan is 6 o'clock, but it could be later than that depending on if we're hunting up into the evening because we can hunt all day there. So please tune in for that. My plan is to do that throughout the entire season because when I get back from Florida, we've got about a month here before Kentucky season opens. And I'm gonna be hunting here in Kentucky, various places. And then the first week of May, well actually May 9th, gonna be heading to Nebraska. So hopefully gonna get a lot of turkey footage and be putting a lot of stuff on YouTube. So please subscribe so you get those notifications. And it really helps us out too, that we can hopefully get some sponsors and we can get some stuff. We can do some giveaways. I'll talk to Brent. I'll see if we can't maybe get a call to do a giveaway. So Brent, if you're watching this, I'm throwing you under the bus right now. But anyway, I've got one item over here. We're gonna do a giveaway on it pretty soon, but you know, we gotta have followers and we gotta have subscribers. So appreciate you for watching. Share this with your friends. Ask them to follow, subscribe, and hey, hope we're bringing some stuff that you enjoy watching. So thanks for watching The Harvest. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, everybody. Welcome to The Harvest. As you can see here, it is, this was the taxidermy room, but tonight it's the Ridgetop Custom Calls build shop, right?
Yep.
So we got Brent Leach here with us from Ridgetop Custom Turkey Calls. Got Stephen right here, just standing off camera, I think. So we got a little custom turkey call making going on tonight while it's raining outside.
Ain't much count for nothing.
Stephen's been shed hunting all day, so he's back here whining and crying about how cold he is and tired he is and all that. So
7.5 miles of duty.
But no, we're hoping to get some lessons from Brent here. He's already been giving us a little bit of lessons on some yelps and such, but he's been gracious enough to stop by and fix us up with some of his custom calls, see what works for us, what works best for us. I blow a call a whole lot different than these guys do. It's just, I don't know, I put a lot of pressure on a call, and I don't know, it seems like everything I blow is just really raspy. It doesn't matter what it is, but I would like to get that little bit cleaner first note and then breaking over into that rasp. So that's kind of what we've been working on. But
Living for the top.
you hit him a lick there a little bit. Show him what it's supposed to sound like.
It takes a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tell you.
How many years you been? How many years you been? You did competitive calling for quite a while. You're still doing a little bit of that.
Yeah, trying to get back into it, teaching the old dog new tricks. But no, I started 2008 with that. I got a boy at home that's nonverbal autistic that loves this sound.
Yeah.
And that's my
Yeah.
excuse to have one in my mouth. When I go home, he gets them out of the refrigerator and sticks them in my mouth a lot of times. So
Yeah.
it's something I enjoy.
Oh yeah.
He likes. So I went ahead and got into some competitions and won the Indiana State 4 times. I'm called the Nationals. I'm called in the U.S. Open, the World. Placed and won Tennessee, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Pennsylvania. Got to get to stretch my legs a little bit.
Oh yeah.
With it.
Oh yeah.
Been a good time. Been a good time.
Well, you've heard me say it before, prettiest yelp I believe I've ever heard, and that's what I'm trying to emulate. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I'll keep trying.
It takes a bit. When I was calling, if I had this yelp back in 2008, 9, 10, it'd been a different story.
Yeah.
I was solid raps, kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it just, people run a mouth call, everybody's mouth shaped different.
Yep.
You can take one call and give it to 10 people and it's going to sound like 10 different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard business to be in because people hear somebody yelp and they call you, I want to sound like him. Well,
Yeah.
I don't got that. I'll do my best to work with you to help you, but I can't. It might happen, it might not. I mean, but you can take one call, people whelp, people oot, say chick. All of them kill a turkey, but it sounds different.
Yep.
When I yelp, they call it huffing, which nowadays you gotta watch saying that. People look at you funny. But I'm just taking that air, pushing it with my diaphragm and cutting it off. Jacob likes it because my fat belly bounces when I do it. But a little bit of tongue pressure make it go up in the pits and let off a little bit. But when I'm doing it, I'm about to that. The calls are stretched kind of loose compared to a lot of people. It breaks over super easy. It don't take no air, and that's kind of my claim to fame.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people that can't run a mouth call can run mine. For
Maybe
sure.
I shouldn't ask this, but if you're getting on stage, what's your, now it might be a custom cut for you. But what's your favorite cut to?
I run a bat wing a lot.
Yeah.
Especially competition calling. If I'm in the woods, I'll run that 2-reed right here. That's called vengeance. It's the exact same thing I sell because I can get so soft and oot oot. And in the woods, people don't realize that in your house you're calling. And I got people calling me and it cuts their phone out. Man, what do you think of that? And you can't even hardly hear it. I said, well, I don't know. But I said, I'm going to tell you right now. I hope you're hunting big country because you get in the woods when there ain't no leaves and you're going to hear that a long ways off.
A long way.
Yeah, you'll blow his eardrums out. But I got calls that I might pack with me on a windy day to strike one, get loud with, but 90% of the time in the woods, you don't got to get crazy loud. I mean, that's kind of what I'm set up to be able to do for people. I mean, the competition thing's great, and I'll run a bat wing a lot of times in that because I am a little louder. I got good control on that. Or this modified shipwreck, I key on a ghost cut, so it's I mean that's your
ghost cut. Like I've never been able to key before until I got your ghost cut, which is called the one, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
And that honestly, you can take that call and do anything with it.
Yeah.
But you can key on that thing like nothing else. And so how long you been building calls?
Since 2008.
So you've been doing that since 08 also?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's when I started fooling with this. I've been turkey hunting. I killed my first turkey in 1989.
Yeah.
First year it was allowed in Trimble County. I believe it was 89. And,
Was that first season? Because you know, I think I missed the first season here in Kentucky in Owen County, and actually the first year it opened here in Owen County, you had to live. Let's see, Highway 227. You had to live east of it, and you had to live south of 127.
yeah, that's why Trimble County was split too.
So that's this corner where I live, because this is where they stop turkeys right here at the end of my road.
Okay.
And so we heard turkeys, you know, for 2-3 years before the season even opened.
Before they let you play.
But I didn't even know what turkey hunting was about, so I didn't even hunt the first year.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, the second year in '90, that was my first bird, which was a Jake.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. Had a friend of mine, you know, that had hunted in Missouri and Fort Knox and all different places, and he ended up kind of taking me and showing me the ropes and what it's about. So that's how I kind of learned what I did.
I got lucky in the first call we made a box call my junior year of high school. My woods teacher over I went high school in Madison, Indiana. But he had more or less a template thing, and I made it out of cedar. I sell a cedar box call and kind of that. And then in '89, when the season first opened, I took that box call, and then Larry Herford used to have a gun shop over in Milton at the top of the hill there, 421. I think it was Mad. I can't remember. So the pike mouth calls, but it had a little thing you had to stretch and make your own mouth calls. And I bought one of them in there and did it right there in his shop. And they was all, because nobody could run one. Well, my mouth took off making sound with it. And everybody's like, I can't believe you did that. Well, I become real popular real quick.
Yeah.
And then plus, I had access to 3 farms in a row on the side of 421 that it became where you could hunt. So then I had a lot more buddies on account of that, because they drive down the road and see turkey hunting people all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And we went in there and worked on it too. It was a good time. But it's something my family, I got a great Uncle Lee that got me, that was his favorite thing in the world to do, and that had a lot to do with that, the design of these pots.
Yeah.
They're 14-sided. He messed his hand up in a square bale, was greasing it before we baled hay. That gear caught it. He couldn't grip a pot call good. So when I went up and with the people that make these pots for me, when I started all this, I said, I want something he can grip.
Yep.
And that's where that comes from.
Gotcha. That's really, you know, we talked about the other day, that's really kind of my go-to. I probably kill 90% of my birds with a slate, with a pot call. But I'll always keep this. You know, there's times that they're not going to like that sound of that pot call. They're not going to like that box call. But I might hit this right here and turn him inside out. You know, you just never know. But I always keep this in my mouth, because once I'm on the gun, you know, you got to have hands free, ready to shoot. So, but it's and not everybody can blow a mouth call. Actually, a lot of people that gag on them.
And that's,
do you make any like
youth frame? I do not have it.
Yeah.
I should have as many as stinking things as I fool with, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But you can trim that tape. But these frames, this is a standard frame.
Mm-hmm.
They got a dozen different sizes. Some of them are longer and narrower.
Yeah.
Some of them are shorter. Then they got what they call a U-frame. And my tape cutter is a standard tape cutter. Some people's got that, they customize it to make the tape a different size. And that's all. If it's gagging you, that piece of tape, I know it looks good coming out of your shirt pocket, but it'll be all right. You put it in there and blow the lint off, it'll be just fine.
That's right.
But that piece of tape, if it's gagging you in the back, just trim it off the back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's gagging, if you can't get it up in the roof, everybody's palate of their mouth is shaped different. If it's too wide, you can trim it a little bit. All that's doing is creating a seal in your mouth.
Right.
I've seen people that run them without tape.
Yeah. But you know, one thing we used to do years and years ago, when I'd buy like a production call off the shelf somewhere, I'd make sure it had a metal frame instead of those plastic frames. And a lot of times, in order, which was a big no-no,
to make it fit, you mash it up in your mouth.
What would
bend it.
I'd bend it.
And that changes your tension.
So, right, that's what I was going to get at, because you're setting the tension right here, the tension of that latex or whatever you're using.
Stretching, it's got a side pull on it. It's got it's a feather edge press. 90% of people in the industry building on this same press. It's got a gauge. You're getting your side tension. Your back tension is by feel or by look. And they're both very important. I mean, that's Colonel Sanders' recipe, they call it. You know, whatever you're running with is what it works. And
So don't you all be bending your frames. You're going to mess up Brent's tension on those.
It's hard to get them consistent anyway. It won't stay the same when you do
Right.
that. I'm the same way though. But it's hard enough to keep it consistent. This latex is stuff we buy, and everybody gets it at the same place. I don't care what company you're buying from.
Yeah.
It's not made for this. This is something that's made in an industrial setting, and they buy it and cut it into these pieces. And you take a micrometer to it, they say it's 3,000. It might be some of it's a little more, a little less. The elasticity is all. It's a can be a tedious, aggravating thing to try and be consistent with. But we do the best we can with what we got.
Yep. Stephen, we were talking about the seasons a while ago. Were you even born then?
Yeah, I was born in. I was a little tight.
He was a little tight. So what do you remember? What was your first year turkey hunting?
It was cutoff was noon.
Yeah.
It was like that for a while. It was 1 o'clock.
So let's see, 87, probably 98, 99.
Yeah.
Maybe I only hunted a couple years with it being cut off at noon.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember calling a bird. We worked a bird all morning when we left because it was noon. We drove by the field and he was coming right to us.
Oh yeah. Been many a times that we'd get gobblers that we'd be working them, and it was just they get fired up late in the day because the hens were going to the nest and they were lonely. And then next thing you know, you're watching your clock, and you're like, oh man, come on. And sure enough, he'd never get there in time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I killed my first one in 2000 or 2001. I think I hunted a couple years before that.
Yeah.
And then first one, I was a freshman in high school and
been
hooked ever since.